to another episode of The Wandering Buffaloes, and very excited day. This is the first day in for the year that we get to actually put the dredges in the water.
That's right, we got our stylish wetsuits on. We're all squeezed into them. I mean, these babies are stiff for sitting in the garage and other places for the past winter. So it's time to stretch these bad boys out, dip in the water, and find some gold with our dredges.
During the early spring, we came down here to pan in sloughs for gold, and I found the tarp, right? So we found a lot of gold just panning and sluicing. So this time, the water is kind of high from the spring flooding, and now it's underwater. So I am going to dredge around that tarp, and I'm bound and determined to get it out. I hope there's nothing crazy waiting for me in the tarp.
So Kathleen's a tarp 2.0.
Yes.
I'm gonna be dredging a little further up at the top of the gravel bar where normally it's totally exposed and you can't get a dredge in there. So we'll see how much gold we can get in our spots this time. So it's always good to go to your spots after heavy rains and kind of see how the creek's, you know, rushing with water, where are some dead spots, where it's pushing material around. You know, you can even see out there with those little rapids in the middle of the creek, there's like a dead zone right in the middle there after the rapids, so you know material is getting dropped there. You look over here and you can see most of the water force is up rushing on the outside bend, pushing stuff in the middle. But you can kind of see where it's going to collect, where the water is moving around, swirling backwards, and pushing the material over. So these are things to look at when the water is a little bit higher to get a better indication where that gold is most likely to drop. So Kathleen is fitting into her wetsuit for the first time this year.
All right, Shad, your turn.
Oh, wait.
Down. So I'm getting all the material behind it and then on top of it as well. I did test the spot in front. It had some color, but it was really, really small. So I'm going to try to see if there's any bigger pieces back here.
the front of the gravel bar here. I found it where the dowsing rods were hitting in a solid line. And if you look past me, I'm right in the direction of where Kathleen is, where my line is. So a lot of pile up of heavy rocks, big rocks here have stopped. I'm in some like looser gravel right now. It was really hard packed. Now I'm in the gravel. I'm getting into another really like a lot of big cobble and rocks. So I'll keep dredging here. I already found some gold in my top mat. Not a lot, but I did a quick test. I was only running for a short time when I did test. Found color. So I'm going to keep working this spot. Mostly focusing on this line. Not going in, not going out. Just staying on the line here. Just see what we can get. Well, there you have it. There's my first dredge hole of the season. After a few hours of running, got to do some tweaking of my equipment, but off to a great start this season and found some color, and I'll have to clean up the cons and see how well I did. But let's check in with Kathleen's hole now as she's cleaning up her dredge.
All right, so this run, I moved my box back a little bit more, and I didn't run as fast, and this time all of the heavy stuff, all the nails and everything were at the top. So a lot better, I hope, and we'll clean out and see how we did, but you can see all the heavy black is really, really thick. So I'm excited to see it.
Well, Kathleen's cleaning out her dredge box. I've taken out all my cons there, got in a nice bucket. One of the things you got to keep in mind, and Kathleen talked about it, on how she's constantly adjusting and tweaking her dredge based on the material, and also looking at where that material and the heavy material is landing in the box. You know, she showed you how she was getting more heavy material towards the end of the box, so she had to push it back to reduce the angle and the pitch of the sluice box. Her last cleanup, you know, all that heavy material is right there in the top of the box, right where you want it. Now, another thing, depending on the material you're running, I started off with more hard pack. I was running a little bit higher. However, when I punched through that layer, I got into a lot of sandy gravel, and it was sucking up that material so fast. So what I did was I throttled down more. One, because we're not that deep, so we don't need all that lift pressure, you know, to pull up the material. So that way it gives a chance for the material to process and separate better in your box and capture that gold quicker. So we'll take a look. Hopefully we're on the gold this trip for our first time out. And again, we just got to keep tweaking our equipment after it's been sitting all winter.
Well, it looks like I'm the last one standing. I just finished my last run. And now it's time to run all of our cons. I actually have 4 buckets of those. I'm gonna reclaim my hole, fill it in. I didn't quite get the tarp out, so here's the tarp. Look at it. I got a lot of gold from what I panned in my top mat. But what I'm going to get ready to do now is cut it. It's still buried and it goes forever, so maybe there's going to be a part 3, who knows. But I took advantage of the creek being flooded because of all the spring floods, and the water was higher, so I was able to get this, but it won. Although I did get some of its gold anyway. I know there's more to be found, and I have to cut it right about there. It kind of rips actually, so I could probably rip it. Then I'm going to take this piece with us out of the creek, help get the trash out of this thing. Now, this is the hard part. Taking my dredge and floating it up stream. That's the challenge. After a long day of dredging, one of our favorite things to do is to come up to camp and relax, listen to some music, and of course, clean our gold out.
That's right. You want to see how well you did after dredging and working all day, or whatever kind of prospecting. So today, we're going to try out the Spike Strike Tubby Concentrator sluice. So
our good friend Indiana gold hunter Dennis Dayton is letting us borrow it.
That's right. He's over there
camp.
fixing his camp up before it's supposed to get rain tonight. So real quick though, we'll talk a little bit about it. We'll get some close-ups of running it, but it comes attached to a tub with 2 separate sluices, almost like a high banker with the slick plate here to get rid of any rocks, so you don't necessarily have to classify a really small, but we classified everything down to a 1/4 inch. The material runs down, your heavies drop through the grate and passes through a lot of different traps here and drop riffles. Then you have an 800-gallon bilge pump hooked to a 12-volt battery, or car battery actually, excuse me, and it just pumps up in there. You got a valve to control the flow, and it comes out the top. So let's get this bad boy and see what gold we got. Now we're not doing a product review here, we're just kind of trying out this piece of equipment to clean our cons. Now just like the gold ram video we did, Spike uses a lot of different drop riffles and capture zones. He has his gold ram drop here and several individual drop riffles, and then some shallow spots. Kind of work the material and trap the gold differently.
It looks like it creates like a little vortex right here with the water, and then it comes back down all of these. Pretty cool.
So here we got our pan, what we're going to use here to clean out our cons. And just fill up here. Now the way this works is you carefully take off this upper attachment like that, and then I'll spin it around here so you can see.
You get the scoop.
Yeah, we'll use the scoop. You can turn it on and reduce the flow, but we're going to just use the scoop here. Hopefully spin it around so you can see.
Nice, there's gold.
Yeah, we got little flakes of gold trapped up in there. There's some up here in this very top one. Let me angle it more.
Oh, it's in this corner.
Yep. So that's a good sign there. It's really fine gold was stuck here at this first drop riffle.
Teeny tiny. And there's more in this one.
Oh yeah, it's
a lot of gold there.
Now this bottom here underneath this grate, this is actually like a slick plate. It's completely flat under here.
That's all fine gold.
Alright, so we got the upper part cleaned out. We're going to run more material here, so I'll just put it down carefully because we might have missed a few specks. Alright, so now we need to do the lower one here. And pretty much you just tilt it up and same process. I'm sure you could do this by yourself, one person.
Super light.
Very light.
This one's deeper.
Yeah, these final ones, just like his gold ram.
There's gold in there.
Yeah, there is some gold there. These are really deep drop riffles. That's not gold.
That's not gold?
No.
Good?
Yeah. So there we go here. Here's the bottom, and this is the bottom part of the tray. We'll take a quick look here. So you have a series of drop riffles at varying depths and widths. Here's a really big one here. Then you have kind of like a V trap here. And then you got a modified gold ram trap, 2 more drop riffles, and then here you got this last capture, or the top capture zone. And this is where the water drops down from the upper sluice, spins your materials to keep separating it and spreads it out. Cool design. One thing when setting up, you can't adjust the pitch. You want to get that nice even water coming out here. You don't want it tilted too much. That way you have a nice flat area for your material to get trapped. Then you can even adjust the top where the gold ram is.
I ended up putting gloves on because your hand can get a little raw. Ooh, that looks kind of interesting. Sorry, squirrel. Anyway, it's a good idea to wear gloves. My hand was a little sensitive from dredging, and all those little tiny rocks are sharp. Make sure I don't have any nuggets.
Well, I'm going to snuffer this up with the rest of the gold. Not too bad. I did wash some down here a little bit. Some went into that bucket. But we'll keep cleaning up. Get all our gold consolidated in our little snuffer and take a look and see how we did.
Here's some of Kathleen versus Tarp 2.0. There's some in the snuffer that, and Shad's stuff is also in there. So we're going to see how both of us did for the day. Well, it rained last night, so the creek is up to where it was when we first got here. And it's time to call it a day, or a weekend, if you will, but we got a lot of gold, didn't we?
That's right. Rain's coming in, so we can expect things to get even worse, so we're going to pull out of here. But we hope you enjoyed this episode. If you like what you see, be sure to share and subscribe to us. We appreciate all the support. And the gold you see, I think we'll probably throw into our buffalo horde for our patrons. And if you want to join the herd, Check out the link below to join, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, look at
Would
him.
you look at that?
Look at it.
Just look at it.
Devastating.